The Fatal Vows, the Sandra Harris story, opening hook. She never saw it coming. Sandra Harris had spent a lifetime building her dreams. At 60 years old, she was the picture of elegance and success. Twice divorced, financially secure, and respected in her community, she had learned to live alone. But behind the graceful smile and the polished exterior, Sandra carried a weight she rarely spoke of: loneliness. She wasn't searching for love. But love, or what she thought was love, came looking for her, and in just 2 days, it would cost her everything. Chapter 1: The Woman Who Had It All. Sandra Harris was known in her circle as a woman who did things on her own terms. She had spent decades in the corporate world, climbing the ladder with determination. Colleagues admired her, friends envied her, and her family leaned on her. She owned her home outright, had investments tucked away, and carried herself with the quiet confidence of someone who had survived life's storms. But when the long workdays ended and the weekends stretched on, Sandra felt the silence of an empty house. Her children were grown. Her marriages had ended years ago. Retirement gave her security, but it also magnified the quiet. In moments of honesty with her closest friends, Sandra admitted she wanted companionship. Someone to laugh with. Someone to hold her hand when the nights felt endless. That longing was the crack Jamal Preston would slip through. Chapter 2: Enter the Predator. At 29, Jamal Preston was the definition of charm. Tall, well-dressed, with a smile that disarmed everyone he met. But beneath the polished exterior was something darker. Jamal had a pattern. For 3 years, he'd been targeting women like Sandra, wealthy, older, often isolated. He perfected the art of the whirlwind romance: meet, flatter, seduce, marry quickly, and inherit everything when tragedy struck. He had already done it 4 times. For women gone. For deaths brushed off as accidents or natural causes. Jamal was patient, calculating, and fearless. To him, Sandra was not a woman. She was an opportunity. They met at a charity gala in the city. Sandra had been invited as a guest of honor for her contributions to education initiatives. Jamal wasn't even on the guest list. He had a way of slipping into places he didn't belong, blending into the crowd with ease. When his eyes landed on Sandra, he studied her. Alone, elegant, smiling politely but with a trace of sadness. To him, she was perfect. He introduced himself with confidence, weaving into her evening like he belonged there. Sandra, caught off guard, was charmed by his ease. He asked about her work, her passions, her life. He listened intently, making her feel like the only woman in the room. That night, he walked away with her phone number. From there, Jamal went to work. Chapter 3: The Whirlwind. The phone calls started the next day. Good morning texts. Late-night conversations. Small gestures that slowly wrapped Sandra into his world. He remembered details she thought no one cared about. He showed up with flowers just because. He made her laugh when she felt heavy. Sandra, at first cautious, slowly let her walls down. Her friends noticed the change. She was smiling more, excited, glowing. Some raised their eyebrows at the age difference, but Sandra dismissed them. Love, she insisted, doesn't check birthdays. Jamal knew exactly what he was doing. He mirrored her interests, praised her wisdom, and positioned himself as the man who saw her value. He played the role of the attentive boyfriend flawlessly. But behind the scenes, he was digging. Learning about her finances. Asking subtle questions about her will, her estate, her investments. Each answer brought him closer to his prize. Chapter 4: Fatal Promises. When Jamal proposed, Sandra hesitated. She worried about the whispers. She wondered if he'd regret not having children of his own. But Jamal's timing was perfect. He reassured her with practiced words: I don't want children. I want you. Just you. Sandra's doubts melted away. She said yes. The wedding was small, intimate. Just family and a few close friends. Sandra wore a cream-colored gown, smiling through tears of joy. Jamal, in his tailored suit, played the role of the doting husband. To everyone watching, it looked like a love story. But 2 days later, tragedy struck. Chapter 5: The Sudden Death. At dinner one evening, Sandra clutched her chest and collapsed. Panic erupted.
Help! Somebody
Jamal
help!
shouted for help, his performance flawless. Paramedics rushed in, but it was too late. Sandra Harris was pronounced dead. Doctors attributed it to her heart condition. Natural causes, they said. After all, she was 60, she had a medical history, and stress could do terrible things to the body. No one questioned it, except for her daughter. Chapter 6: A Daughter's Instinct. Kira Harris wasn't just grieving. She was suspicious. A police officer by profession, Kira had instincts honed by years on the job. And something about Jamal never sat right with her. From the moment he appeared in her mother's life, Kira had been wary. He was charming, yes, but too polished. Too evasive about his past. And the speed of the marriage had troubled her deeply. Now, with her mother dead just 48 hours after the wedding, her instincts screamed that this was no coincidence. Kira ordered a toxicology test. She pushed the coroner to look deeper. The results sent chills through her. Sandra hadn't just died of natural causes. Her medication had been tampered with. The dosage was wrong, altered. Someone had interfered, and Sandra had been meticulous with her health. She didn't miss doses. She didn't make mistakes. This was deliberate. Chapter 7: Following the pattern, Kira began digging into Jamal's life. What she found was horrifying. Jamal had been married before. Not once. Not twice. But 4 times. Each wife older. Each wealthy. And each one dead within months of marriage. Car accidents. Sudden illnesses. Mysterious falls. All ruled accidental. And each time, Jamal had walked away with money. Sandra wasn't the first. She was just the latest. Kira compiled her findings, building a case brick by brick. Financial records, marriage certificates, death reports. A pattern so clear it couldn't be ignored. Jamal wasn't unlucky in love. He was a predator. Chapter 8: The Hunt. As the investigation closed in, Jamal sensed the walls tightening. He withdrew cash. He packed a bag. He planned his next escape, ready to vanish and start over with a new identity, a new name, a new victim. But Kira was ready. She alerted authorities, set surveillance, and tracked his every move. The night Jamal tried to flee, the city lit up with sirens. A chase tore through the streets, Jamal desperate to slip away one more time. But this time, luck wasn't on his side. Police cornered him, dragged him from the car, and Jamal Preston's double life came crashing down. Chapter 9: Justice in the Courtroom. The trial was explosive. Prosecutors painted Jamal as a predator, a man who hunted love for profit, leaving bodies in his wake. Toxicology reports proved Sandra's medication had been tampered with. Financial documents showed she had changed her will in Jamal's favor just before her death. And testimonies from families of his past wives revealed a chilling pattern. One by one, the pieces fit together. Jamal wasn't a grieving husband. He was a serial killer. A man who thought charm could cover his tracks. In the gallery, Kira sat with the families of Jamal's other victims. Their grief bound them together. They listened as the jury delivered its verdict, guilty. Chapter 10: The Legacy of Sandra Harris. For Sandra, justice came too late. But her story didn't end with her death. It ended with her daughter's determination. Kira refused to let her mother's life be reduced to a statistic. She refused to let Jamal slip away again. Through her fight, the truth about Jamal's past came to light. His cycle of manipulation and murder was broken. Sandra's legacy became not the tragedy of her death, but the victory of exposing a predator. Sandra Harris believed she had found her forever. What she found instead was a nightmare. But in the end, her daughter made sure the nightmare would never claim another victim.